Alright, already putting the old car lift to work. So we got a popping noise whenever we drive this every now and then. I check the front end, use our air jack to get it off the ground or off the lift. And looking, everything's tight, but so I got me a block, 4x4 block, and a rock bar. And you can kind of lift. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to do this one-handed. You can see that upper ball joint going in and out. That should not have any movement. Lower ball joint looks pretty good. So I checked the other side. It's not too bad. It's mainly that guy right there. So we need a new ball joint, and they just you just get the upper A-arm, the whole kit. I'll get this tore apart. Alright, I'm kind of learning as I go. So we need to break this loose. This is a 18 millimeter. And then, let's see if we can get in there. So there's a nut there, and of course it's not welded. It's just spinning. And then there's a nut on this side, or bolt over on this side. Hard to see with the lighting. So these are, I believe, 21. Let me see. What do I got? Yeah. These are 21 millimeter. Go right there. And you can wiggle in a breaker bar. Get some light over here. You can wiggle in a breaker bar and a short 21 millimeter socket, and it fits in there. You can get it on either side, that way you don't have to take out your strut. At least that's what I'm going to try to do. Then you'll need a 21 millimeter short socket here. I used a breaker bar to break it loose. Now I'm going to get my ratchet and ratchet that out. Get that out. I'm going to break this loose. So I'll use a 18 millimeter. Oh crap, trying to do this one-handed. 18 millimeter, stay on there. And I'll take another 17-inch wrench. See, counterclockwise, so I need to push away from me. There we go. That wasn't very tight. So I'll loosen this down to there, and then we'll break that loose. We shouldn't have to mess with anything else, really. This should just get this off and that off. I may put a little bottle jack underneath here just to keep it from dropping down anymore. And then should be able to yank that dude out of there. This is just a little jack I made. It was a stabilizer. Welded a 3/4 nut on it. Impacted it. What I did is lifted this up just a little bit. Just enough to take a little tension off. And then I just went ahead and took the nut off, and it sprung up. Got me a bungee cord, wrapped it around the frame just to keep the tension off the brake hose. What else was I going to show you? Oh, here's the ball joint. I don't know if the camera will pick up, but I'll try to hold it with one finger. See if I can hold this in that. You should be able to see it going up and down. Shouldn't do that. You can hear it popping. So, no good. And you shouldn't be able to move it around that easy and spin it. Well, let's get some new ones ordered. I got this all loosened up. This is the breaker bar with the deep or short socket. Should be able to wiggle this thing off of there. Get you a magnet. Get that socket off there. Oh, you gonna make me a liar? There we go. There's the nut. Should be almost off. Hard to see. There we go. Boom, boom. Get our ratchet off. There's our bolt. And it should wiggle out of there. There you go. That's how you take a upper A-arm off without having to remove the strut. Sweet. Now I'm just waiting on parts. I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side, and we're going to do the other side the same way, just like this. Looking good so far. No good.
Alright, so I may end up pulling this CV axle because I'm going to try to put a grease insert for the lower ball joint. I'm going to put a grease insert for the outer tie rod. You can see there's no grease in them. This way I can grease them. They're still good. I'm going to try to save them. So what you do is you'll drill a hole. You want to use, I'm using, where is it? These are 1/4 28 grease inserts. You want to get a 1/4 28 tap. You need to really get a flat tap or a bottom tap. This is all they had at the store, so I'm making it work. And it's going to be a number 3 drill bit. I've already got this outer tie rod done. Drilled it, tapped it, cleaned out the metal shavings, put my insert in, greased her up. Now she's got grease in her. That's what you want. Now, like I said, I'll probably take this nut off, pop this axle out, slide it off out of the way so I can put a grease insert in. What I'm going to do is put a 90. That 90 is going to turn in that way I can be able to grease it any time. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, I got this insert done. Figure this would be kind of satisfying for you. Put the old adapter on there. See, there's absolutely no grease. Now she's full of grease again. Maybe a little bit more. You don't want too much in because you don't want to blow your seal out. There we go. Heck yeah. Now to do our lower ball joints. Show you what I've done so far. Since I'm waiting on the upper A-arms, I needed to get 2
my ball joint so I can put my grease insert in. Had to take my caliper off, got it hanging. That way I can move this forward, take the nut off right here, which, what size is that? .35mm. So took the nut and washer off, pulled back my axle just enough, so now I can get my drill in here, and we'll tap it to 1/4 28, and then we're going to put a 90 grease insert on it. Now, they make a needle that you can put on your grease gun, and you can stick it in the boot. Get over here. You can actually stick it in that boot right there, and it'd be a small little pinhole, but since we're waiting on parts anyway, I figured, what the heck, let's go ahead and get an insert on here. Since we already did the outer tie rods. Turned out really good. Got nice and bunch of grease in there now. Alright, so now I'll tap that to 1/4 28 and put my grease insert in. Alright, there's my 90 grease insert. Now we should be able to get the old grease insert on there. Ooh, it fell on the ground. Hang on, time out. Okay, we're back. There we go. Watch the boot. Oh yeah, got plenty of grease in there now. I don't want to put too much in. Like I said, you don't want this to pop loose and grease everywhere. But we got some in there. You can hear how many times it clicked. I mean, it's pumping in a lot of grease. Well, they were definitely bone dry. Whoops. That side's done. Now we gotta get this side done. Alright, we got this side done. Put my 90 grease insert in, worked great. Our outer tie rods can grease, so now we can grease our lower ball joints, our upper, and then when we get our new upper A-arms, if it doesn't come with the grease insert, then we'll do the same thing, we'll add one. I mean, you might as well. They don't put them on there because they want them to go out. They don't want you to be able to get a lot of miles on these. They want you to replace them. So the front end still felt pretty good, so that's why I went ahead and put grease in them, or inserts in them, that way we can grease them. I think this is all original from the factory, it looks like. But you can see I pumped in a lot of grease in it, so they were definitely bone dry. So we're just waiting on good old AutoZone. Ordered the upper A-arms from them. They should be in shortly, so we're just patiently waiting, impatiently waiting, if you know what I mean. Alright, see you in a bit. Peace out. Alright, got the upper A-arm put on. Good looking quality. It's a Duralast Gold Lifetime upper A-arm slash what is this called? Why am I brain dead? Upper ball joint. So I didn't have to put a grease insert in, I already had one. Got her pumped full of grease. I got this all tightened. So reading the old directions, it says put your bolts in, leave them kind of loose, and what we need to do is we're going to end up having to put this wheel back on. I'll get the other side done. We're going to put both wheels back on, and then we're going to lower it down. The suspension is going to sit at the right height, and then we're going to move our jack over here and lift it up right here. That way the suspension will stay at right height, and then we're going to pull the wheel back off. Get in here, and then tighten these. So that's what they want you. They want you to tighten these up completely at right height for your bushings to basically last longer. Alright, I just put a couple of lug nuts on, and we're going to lift this up, lower it down. I'll shake on the suspension a little bit, boom, 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 and then we're going to move the jack up and actually pick up on the lower A-arms, so the ride height will stay the same. And then we're going to take off our wheels, and then we're going to tighten up our upper A-arm bolts. Alright, so now the suspension is sitting at right height, the way I got the jack positioned. So we'll take this back off, and then we'll tighten up our upper A-arms. I guess you can't see. You'll see in a minute. Alright, so I figure I would go ahead and torque my upper bolts. So we got the bolt here, and then the bolt here. So when you look online, it says they recommend you torque these bushing bolts to 108 up. Sorry, it says torque up to 118. So to me, you know, when you're saying up, you can go higher than 118. So I went ahead and put my breaker bar, or not my breaker bar, my torque wrench, I set it to 120, and as you can see, if it clicked one time, let's see, I'll show you, try to do this one-handed. There we go. We got 120 on there. Like I said, you don't have to take this out, just use you a breaker bar and a 21 millimeter. It'll slide in there. You just gotta wiggle it in there, but it'll work. Alright, so upper bushing bolts says up to 118 foot-pounds torque. Real quick tip, magnet is your friend. I had to push the magnet in here with the socket on there to get that socket in. And then I'll get my little breaker bar in there. Get her latched in like that. Alright, we got this Colorado all buttoned up. I'll lower it down off the jacks and go give it a test spin. Easy peasy. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Signing off.